Hey, we're going to do the drawing for the Inside the Bubble book. And this book right here. I have more of these books. I haven't received a copy of the updated version yet, so I don't know the difference between the two. Let me open this window a little bit, or this door. Yeah, there we go. They don't echo as much. Somebody's asked me that they heard there was a new one, and yeah, there is. There's an updated version. I haven't got a copy, so I can't tell you what I can see as the difference between this one and that one is. Probably more information in the Finney area and maybe some other things, the 25% tax increase in Sumter County and things like that, but I don't know. Hopefully maybe I can get a copy. I still got these left that I'm probably going to give away eventually or sell or something. I don't know. I don't know how many I got. I ain't got a lot. I got like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 in there left. So, beer of the day, Sam Adams Boston Lager. I'm going to try a new what do you call it? It's called a random name picker. And I'm going to video it with this camera. This is my GoPro 5 because my GoPro 7 has a dead battery in it. And when I post this, I'm going to post this right before the Friday news. Or maybe after. I'll tell you what, I'm going to post this, the winner of this, somewhere in the Friday news video. I'm not going to tell you where. And maybe that is a good reason for you to watch. I don't know what that was all about. I'm going to have to check and make sure that works. But anyway, I'm going to post it with the picture of this. And then how this to video the random choosing. And that way you'll see. One of the rules is, whoever wins, I'm going to announce who the winner is. Some of them are names, some of them are email addresses. It's just weird. When you hear it, you email me. The email is in the description below. I may put it down here somewhere, maybe, I don't know. Your mailing address so I can mail it to you. You have 7 days to send me your address by email, and which is g1rump2y@gmail.com. Yeah, I'll send you the book free. Simple, easy peasy, right? Good day. I want to cut a little bit of news. There's a lot coming in this time of year. Oh, by the way, beer of the day. White Moscato wine. I'm not a big wine drinker, but I do like a sweet wine. I know, you wine connoisseurs don't think that's a wine at all. That's okay with me. I still buy it. Well, let me get to the news here. A couple of interesting ones I saw. By the way, just so you guys know, the news that I read, I just kind of pick and choose. I don't go through these things ahead of time, writing them down and declaring 5 of them for this Friday's news or whatever. I just go through them and I just randomly see something that looks interesting and I read it. That's all I do. I don't look for any particular thing. I just see things that I keep in mind that for future viewers or future homeowners and possibly future subscribers, that these might be interesting for you to know what the Villages is, because I have no access to grind. I enjoy it here. Wife enjoys it here. But I don't want someone to think that somehow, some way, that I work for the Villages in any way and they're paying me to do that. They're not. Trust me, they're not. Matter of fact, I don't even think they like the idea that I do any of this. But I want to give you kind of like an inside feel of what it is here. It's not a protected community. I've said that a million times. Where outsiders are allowed to come in here anytime they want. and there's nothing we can do about it because their streets are public. We are not a gated community. I've said that a million times. We are a community with gates. Big difference between the two. If you want a gated community, this is not the place to come. If you don't mind living in a community with gates, we're okay. And there's a lot of those in Florida. A lot of those in Florida are a community with gates. They're not really a gated community. So just so you know what you're getting into when you buy here. You may like it, you may not like it. I don't want you to buy here and then 2 years from now, you're one of those people that's going to complain, well, the realtor told me this, or the realtor told me that. And I still say, and I could be wrong about a small percentage, but I've had people make comments all the time saying, a realtor told me that this was a gated community. Well, first of all, I don't know what realtor when you say that. I mean, I'm not talking about a person's name. I mean, are we talking about a village's realtor, or are we talking about an outside realtor? I don't know anything about most of the outside realtors. The ones that I do know, I find it hard to believe that they would actually deceive you that way. I know the village's realtors are trained maybe not to tell you everything they know. They play dumb sometimes about some stuff. But that one is one of them I don't think they'd play dumb to. That's a pretty significant lie to say, this is a gated community. That's a pretty big lie, and they know that. It's a community with gates. And I used to work for the villages. That's a CCD, or CDD, Community Development District is where I worked. And every meeting I ever went to, and we were required to go to these meetings. I mean, you just had to go. They paid you to go, you had to go. Safety meetings, villages expansion meetings about where we were going to go. Before Finney even started, we were instructed about gates that were going to be down there, some manned, some not manned, and so on and so forth. Like if you was wanting to transfer thing. So all the meetings that I went to, all of them, nobody ever said this was a gated community. Nobody ever referred to it. I was at a meeting where Sheriff Joe was there, and he had explained the purposes of the guard gates and how they worked with the Sumter County Sheriff's Department and things like that. And he never used that phrase. I've never heard anybody inside villages call this a gated community. They've always said a community with gates. So sometimes I feel that people hear what they want to hear, and they're not listening. And I'm almost 100% sure of that, and I'll tell you how I see that. I don't know how many times on my channel here, that like on a giveaway, I give away a lot of stuff. And on the villages, on the RV channel, I usually leave specific rules about how to give something away. I'll say, leave something in the comment box below. Do not email me. And sure as the dickens, I'll get a half a dozen emails. After I just said, don't send me any emails. It just amazes me that people just don't listen. So I've got to the point, as tough as it may be, and I don't want to make anybody mad, trust me, I don't. But here's how it is with me from now on. I did it with the black tank giveaway thingy that I said in the video, and I went back and double checked. I said, do not email me. No, I'm sorry, on that one I said, do not leave anything. No, I said, to leave a comment in the description box, I want that thing, or that black tank thingy, or whatever, anything like that. Leave it in the description box, because that's the only place I'm going to go to get names to put in the hat, to draw a name, to see who wins. And that very first day, I had like 6 emails right off the get-go, which leads me, to the thing of, because the channel's a small channel, and I don't want to eliminate anybody if I can keep from it. I did go ahead and put those people in there that emailed, but it was just that. So I go back and I watched that video again, and specifically I said, do not email me, put this in the description box below, and they emailed me anyway. So I relate that to, rules and regulations in the villages. They know what the rules are. They just choose not to listen to it. I just don't get it sometimes. I really don't. So anyway, it is what it is. Okay, here's some of the news today. I'm doing these way early, and these are random. I just see something. Executive key to success of the villages cuts last remaining tie. There's changes in the air around here. Generational changes, management changes. There's been a lot of changes. I don't know if it's due to people's age. I don't know if it's due to people, I made enough money, so I'm out of here. I don't know if it's because we're getting into the fourth generation of the Morrises taking over. I don't know. And when I say that, it's because Harold Schwartz was number one, Gary Morris was number two. I can't think of the guy's name now, but the Morris guy that's running the thing now is number three, and now the kids their kids are starting to take over. That's the fourth generation, and I've seen some changes. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like them, but I have nothing to do about it. I don't like the idea of apartments being built inside a retirement community. I've never seen anything good come out of an apartment complex. Never. I've lived in a few apartment complexes when I was younger. No, I don't like the idea of it at all. I don't like the idea of our streets being public. I don't. I would rather pay a much higher price to live here and have the guard gates. Maybe the main roads could be public, but I would like to see the guard shacks to be at the main entrances to every village, so you don't come in here unless they got a reason to be in here. So, because I've been in communities that are like that. The main road to the community is public, but then as soon as you make the right or the left to go inside the community itself, that's where the guard gate is. And that's where you have to give name, ID, who you coming to visit, things of that nature. So I'd rather see that. That's just me. That's not the way it is here. It's not the way it's going to be here. So it's just one of them things that me, just like anybody else, we just live with it. Gary Moyer is resigning his seat on the powerful Village Center Community Development District Board of Supervisors. Wow, I'm surprised about that. He's been around a long time. I have enjoyed being part of the villages since 1992, and I consider the villages to be the best example in the state of Florida using CDDs to be an integral part of the development of one of the most premier communities in the United States. Moyer helped state legislators write the law creating such districts. At one point, his firm was managing 250 special districts and municipalities in the Sunshine State. Moyer teamed up with H. Gary Morris in the early 1990s and was critical to the unparalleled success of the villages. Upon last year, Moyer served as vice president of the development for the villages. Moyer, who leads the Moyer Management Group in Celebration, Florida, that's the name of a town. It's actually it was a community that was either completely designed or at least the designer team for Disney World helped them design that community. There's a story about that too. That was the first community. I was there when they were developing that community. They had several homes open for home shows, so to speak, also for sale, designer models. The town itself wasn't quite open yet, but they were still building things. There was a few things open, but not many. And we took a tour of the whole thing, and that was the first community that I seriously thought about buying a house there. I would have made a lot of money if I had at that time compared to today, but I've been down there since they pretty much developed that whole area. I don't like it, not anymore. When they first started it, I kind of liked the concept of it, but to me now, it's a nice place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there. Earlier this year, Moyer resigned from the Amenity Authority Committee. He was replaced by an AAC on the AAC by Robert Chandler IV, who also succeeded Moyer as a member of the management team for the villages. Well, that's enough of that. So he's out of here, and the new party's in, and who knows what kind of changes may be made in the future. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to hit the, I hope this thing focuses on here okay. I'm going to hit the go button. See, all your names are on here. You might even see your name right there, but there's over 100 names. This thing goes over and over and over. Ready? Let's see what we can do here. Go. Where are we at? Who won? Who won? I guess I got to go down here and look, right? There we are. See, that's how you can tell everything's, and then you got this name down here, it's all lit up. So you see the name right there. I think you pronounce it Bernie Dame, D-A-M-E. Okay, Bernie. Let me shut this up. New commercial development will cater to future residents of villages of Southern Oaks. They haven't started developing that yet. They may have put in some electrical and stuff like that. I don't know that yet. I don't know where the dividing lines are. It's hard to tell, but I haven't seen any development about Southern Oaks yet. So Southern Oaks, though, just so you know, is going to be the largest village or / neighborhood, the village of Southern Oaks, or the neighborhood of Southern Oaks, however you want to put it. In all of the villages, it's going to be the largest. The numbers of homes to go in that has been all over the place. I've seen reports of upwards of 40,000 homes in the village of Southern Oaks. And then I seen one the other day in a paper or something I read where it was talking about 14,000 and so many hundred, 14,400 or something like that, homes being built in the village of Southern Oaks. So I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I know it's going to be huge. Let me see what it says about this. A proposed land use amendment earmarks 2 new areas for commercial development in South Wildwood. The amendment maps out proposed land uses for the sprawling city from Oxford near County Road 466 and US 301. The newly annexed areas south of the Coleman Federal Prison. I don't know what that means because Oxford ain't anywhere near the Coleman Federal Prison. 466 and 301 is up by Southern Trace Shopping Center and the large Walmart. That's not even close to the Coleman Federal Prison. So the amendment maps out proposed land uses for the sprawling city from Oxford near County Road 466, and US 301 to newly annexed areas south of the form. I read that wrong. I'm sorry. They're saying from way up there to way down there. Okay. New commercial areas are proposed for an area along US 301 and Warren Springs Avenue across from the village of Finney, and for State Road 44 between Buena Vista and Morris Boulevard. Yeah, I know where they're talking about. I believe that's the same area that they put in homegrown, the so-called huge hot houses down there for growing vegetables and things. A mixed-use commercial area is proposed for the area near Finney. It would extend north along the east side of US 301 and west along the north side of Warren Springs Avenue. The area currently has scattered homes but no commercial. Another commercial area is planned on the north side of County Road 470 near County Road 501, which is down the road from the prison, Coleman Federal Prison. Okay, that's about all there is about that area there. It talks about some apartments but has nothing to do with us. So, okay. Well, we're going to build, listen, when you have this many people coming in, you got to have a place for them to shop, eat, hospitals, doctors, offices, probably lawyers, maybe investment firms, like, Charles Schwab have an office. It is what it is. I mean, it's just a growing area. Man with guns nabbed after cutting off driver in roundabout in the Villages. This is exactly what I was saying when I was talking about the roads are open to the public. Just like the country clubs are open to the public. So when you go in any of these places, the squares are open to the public. Do not leave stuff in your car, your golf cart. Lock things up. Do the best you can do to protect it. And be very, not won't say wary, but just be alert of your surroundings, people around you. If you're walking from a parking lot in the dark, or you're leaving a square at night, walking back to your golf cart, just be alert. Just because this place is a retirement community doesn't mean that there ain't some strange people out there walking around, watching you, seeing what you're doing, and take advantage of things. Women have purses sometimes wide open, hanging down, easy snatch. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying is just know where you're at. So here's a guy here, William Reagans. See that picture? This is the guy in a roundabout that cut off somebody in a roundabout in the Villages. And I don't know what happened here. Let's read it. A man with 2 fully loaded guns was nabbed in the Villages after cutting off a driver in a roundabout. William Scott Reagan, 60 of Tampa, not even from here, was driving a black Dodge Ram pickup at about 11 a.m. Friday in a roundabout at El Camino Real and Buena Vista Boulevard. That'll be right there where, pretty close to where Savannah Center's at, Savannah Rec Center. So I'm going to guess he probably came from 466 up there where the shopping area is at, and they cut down Buena Vista to go all the way down. If he's going back to Tampa area, they go down Buena Vista, use them as cut-through streets. Everybody does. To go down to maybe 466A, or maybe go all the way down to 44, and then get on 301 down by Finney, because 301 in the Finney area down there, 301 will take you all the way to Tampa. Oh, El Camino Real and Buena Vista Boulevard when he cut off a white SUV, forcing the driver to slam on his brakes, according to an arrest report from the Sumter County Sheriff's Office. When the driver of the white SUV blew his horn at Reagan's pickup truck, Reagan's flipped the bird and waved a gun out the window, the report said. What a dumbass. The driver of the white SUV, who had his wife, 2 13-year-olds, an 11-year-old, and an 8-year-old riding as passengers, followed Reagan's truck in an attempt to get the license plate number. Reagan's took off at a high rate of speed and was whipping in between cars and cutting people off, the arrest report said. I've seen that happen around here when people just go into the grocery store. Reagan's truck was stopped at a Circle K service station at Southern Trace Plaza. That's up there where we were just talking about. A search of the vehicle turned up a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver hidden under the floor mat in the back seat. Both guns were fully loaded. A container of cocaine was also found in the vehicle. Deputies determined that Reagan's had handed the weapons and cocaine to a juvenile who was in the back seat. What a man. A criminal history check showed that Reagan's had been convicted in 1980 of drug possession in Virginia. That's a long time ago. That's 40 years ago. You hear these stories about how after so many years your arrest record goes away. I guess it just shows you that's not true. Maybe in a juvenile situation that's true, but as an adult, it follows you forever. He was arrested on charges of improper exhibition of firearm, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cocaine, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He was booked to Sumter County Detention Center and was released, that's what kills me, and was released after posting a $17,500 bond. That sounds like a lot of money, but how that works is he only has to put up 10%, and then the bail bondsman guarantees the rest, I guess, somehow, some way. So for a $1,750 check or credit card, you're out of jail, with the promise that you will return to court. I make that little snide remark because there's a lot of illegals that get arrested here with Mexico driver's license, with no ID whatsoever, and they don't speak English either. And they give them tickets for this or that with the promise that they'll show up in court. And then next thing you know, there's a warrant issued to some guy's name you can't pronounce for failure to appear. Intoxicated visitor to the village is jailed after biting male dining companion. Oh, here's to you. Angela, I'm going to say Rue, R-O-U-X. There she is. She doesn't look happy at that picture, does she? An intoxicated visitor, where we go? An intoxicated, oh, darn it, I just hit something, it took off. An intoxicated visitor to the villages was jailed after reportedly biting a male dining companion. Angela Marie Rue, 42, of Concord, North Carolina, was arrested on a charge of battery shortly before 7 p.m. Friday at a home in the villages. When deputies arrived on the scene, a man was holding Rue down on the front porch of the home, the address of which was redacted from the arrest report. The man said he and Rue had gone out to eat and have a few drinks. They dropped off a male companion at the residence and went back out for a few more drinks. The man told deputy that Rue does not normally drink. Sounds like she's well trained. And never to the point that she is intoxicated. Rue started throwing papers around the house, and then she grabbed a set of keys and tried to leave. The man tried to hold her back, but she bit him on the left side of the chest, leaving the bite mark. Well, I think I can see what's going on there. You know, I don't know. These things happen everywhere, I suppose. I'm not going to say too much about it. Okay, that'll be all of that for right now. Hope you all enjoyed the news. I'm going to be cutting a lot of this news because I have got tons of it, and try to get them all caught up so you kind of get a good flavor of what's going on around here. Whether you like it or whether you don't like it, it's what I'm going to do. So until then, cheers everybody. See you on the other side.